Oh, that's real good.
All right, everybody, welcome to the 11:11 podcast. My name is Matthew. You are here for the inaugural episode numero uno. I want to thank you for tuning in, and we are going to get into it today with our very first guest from Zella Fermani, Z herself. We're going to get into a round of intros where you're going to meet not only myself, but also my illustrious co-host, and then we're going to hear a little bit more about Z and her journey from the beginning all the way to today, where she has taken Zella Fermani to one of the hottest streetwear brands, not only in the DMV, but even worldwide. But I'm going to pass it off to my co-host, introduce himself, and then we're going to get into it.
He said illustrious co-host, y'all. I like that. I like that.
Illustrious.
I appreciate that.
Nothing but illustrious guests.
So what's up, y'all? I'm Simone, brand expert and content creator. Happy to be here. Happy to be kicking this off. This is nice.
Very dope. And I'm Donnie Weber. I'm everything business operations, finance, all that and above.
And like you said,
our guest.
I'm Z. I run a brand called Zella Fermani. I've been in the clothing brand industry for about 5 years now. So.
Nice.
It's dope.
Yes.
It's dope. And again, my name is Matthew. I'm one of the co-founders of the company that's bringing you this podcast, T10 Collective. Shout out to us.
Shout out to T10.
Shout out to the T10, the illustrious founders of T10. It's all about being business owners. We're small business owners. T10 is a small business that, believe it or not, next week is our 5-year anniversary. So Z got us beat by a little bit, but 5 years.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
It's crazy. And thank you. It's been a road. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what it's like as business owners to even get to that point. Yeah. There's been a lot of steps that we can tell you, a lot of crazy stories. But, on this podcast, it's all about being able to have those kind of conversations with like-minded people who have gone through similar journeys and starting their own businesses, their passion projects, where they took it from something that they wanted to do and took it to something that they wanted, that they did, and then continue to do. But there's so many lessons along the way, so many journeys that we want to be able to hear from. And so on the 11:11 podcast, you're going to hear that. You're going to hear the good, bad, and the ugly, so that you can keep going with your journey, because that's what we're all doing, and we're going to do it together. So we're going to get into it. Ms. Z, take us to the beginning. Take us to even when you had the first idea. What made you even want to get into starting Zella Fermani?
Well, like I mentioned earlier when we were talking, I was in high school. I needed an alter ego. I wore Jordans. I was the tomboy. I played basketball. So I wanted to redefine myself and give myself like that alter ego, like that Sasha Fierce. Mm-hmm. And so I came up with Zella Fermani. I was into photography. I always loved fashion, but like I said, I never thought that would be something I would be doing right now. My grandmother can actually vouch and say that she bought me a lot of fashion books when I was younger to sketch and draw, but I never thought like that was, like I said, going to be something that I was going to be into later on. But like I said, so I created that alter ego. I ran with it. I wanted to do photography, like I said, and then I did photography, and I came out with a jacket. It was like a little bomber. At the time, bombers were really, really popular at the time, so it was like, oh, I could do this. And so someone was like, are you releasing those? And I was like, no. Then I sat back and I was like, maybe this could be the start of something great. And I started from there, and it was still like T-shirts and regular stuff. It wasn't nothing crazy, but later on, I found a manufacturer, and Zella Fermani finally came about, and so like to produce it and widen it out and more garments, so it was great.
I like that. So from ideation, so when you first had the idea to when you actually launched the full brand, right, what was the time period between then, and kind of what were the steps that got you to your launch?
That's a good question. Because it was so long ago.
Yeah.
I want to say, like I said, I was doing photography, so probably I want to say a couple of months after, because I made the bomber jacket right after I started the website, because I had the logo. Mm-hmm. Let me start there. I got the logo. I had the logo for, I want to say, 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So
y'all hear that? 2 years
because
had the logo.
Right, because like I said, I was doing photography, so I wanted to do it the right way. You had a logo, trademark it, stamp it on pictures and all that. So yeah, it was probably took like I want to say a couple of months after that, because it started with the bomber jacket, and then I just kind of like went from there. Yeah.
With the bomber jacket, did you just keep it going with other editions of that bomber jacket, or you were like, no, I'm gonna try something different?
I never finished with it was just literally the bomber jacket, and that was it. Like,
wow.
I never really ran with it, because I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I got it from I want to say Forever 21.
Okay.
And I just stamped my logo on it, not thinking nothing crazy, because I'm like, this is just gonna be mine.
Right.
Yeah.
After that,
It
took off, and they was like, no, drop that, and I never got a chance, because like I said, I never found my manufacturer until years later. So I was just doing wholesale items, so it was never a manufacturer in sight.
Yeah.
Until years later, like I said. So it took a good while.
Okay, that's cool. And then as far as how you were selling it at first, were you doing it hand to hand in school, or were you going to pop-ups?
At that time, I believe I was in senior year, so I wasn't doing anything.
Okay.
Like I said, I never fully started production until maybe after high school.
Okay.
With t-shirts and stuff like that, but I'm literally just sitting here thinking, like, it was literally nothing about Zella. It was there, but it wasn't me selling anything, you know. I didn't,
because the business was supposed to be the photography
right
business.
So I was really focusing on that, and then I was like, maybe I could still do this, and maybe I can get a shirt and stamp my logo on it and take pictures and maybe market it that way. But it was always about photography for that time being. But Zella Fermani clothes was coming. Yeah.
And so how was the word getting out? Like, people would get a piece here and there, and then was word of mouth viral?
It was also, and then I had found a hat supplier, and so I started getting hats, and that's another thing too. I had endless hats. I started bleaching them. I started drying them, washing them, painting them, and I would sell them for maybe $20. I'm hats everywhere. Everybody had a hat. That is something I'm thinking about. I'm like, wow, this has been a long journey. Everybody had a hat, and I was making money that way too. I would go to my supplier, get a bunch of hats from a online website, go to my hat supplier, he doing the embroidery. It took off from there too as well. So a lot of people had the hats.
So the hats is probably just still circulating in the hood.
I seen one the other day, and I was like, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But that's a good moment.
That's
Because here you go.
crazy. I think my family members, because I used to give them away to my family members, and my family, because I wanted them to support me so much that I was just like, I'll take it. And they'll wear it, and then their friends be like, I want one. I'll go and get that hat online, put it in not my manufacturer, but my hat supplier at the time. He'll do an embroidery, sell it. So yeah, it was definitely a long journey. Wow, it's been a long journey. As I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm like a little teary-eyed. Wow.
At that time, did you know what you were doing? Did you know that, like, this is the start of a business?
No,
Yeah?
I didn't. I've went through a lot of ups and downs, not knowing what I'm doing. I just like it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know where to start. Like I said, I didn't even have a manufacturer to produce higher level garments back then. You know, so it was just like learning experiences, really, truly. But it taught me now what to do.
Right.
So that beginning was, you always come with a beginning. You need a beginning, right? So
what was that moment for you when you said, okay, this didn't start off as a business, but I'm in business for myself at this point? Like, you started making money and you started really seeing, okay, maybe I can do this. What was that point for you? And then when did you say, okay, I'm about to turn up on them?
Well, like I said, I went through a lot of things in life where I had to work. I had to just be a normal adult, right? So, like I said, Zella was put on and off at that time. I think I really didn't start taking it serious until I lost my job. Okay. And they were telling me, like, hey, you know, you got a couple of months left. And at this time, I was saving money by Zella, but I wasn't doing it right. So I thought, you know, I could spend my checks, clothes. Right. I never thought I would lose my job, you know. So
and that's the reality for so many entrepreneurs that are kind of forced into it, because it's like, shit, I gotta make some money now. What I'm gonna do?
You know, I never thought I would lose my job, because I'm like, I'm out here shopping, living my life, and then they was like, oh, you only have a couple of months left. So I'm like, dang, the money that I did accumulate from Zella, it's only $1,000 left. I was like, it's either I go back to work or I used this $1,000 for something. And at that time, I created the Zella Fermani pants. I used the $1,000 to start the production. I found a manufacturer. He reached out to me. We did samples, and I did have money for the samples while I was working. So it was like something I was trying, but I was also scared to do because I'm like, I don't know what this is going to possibly do and where it's going to go. The manufacturer successfully did the sample. I released them, and it took off. And I was just like, wow, like God put you in positions to show you like this is something that you should be doing for a long time. Like it was amazing to see like the feedback and how fast they sold out. Because like I said, I never thought that this was going to be something that I was going to do. So it was amazing to see.
Now, shout out to God.
Right?
Yeah.
Shout out to the manufacturer. Shout out to everybody.
Yeah. And that was my first time working with a manufacturer, too. So I don't know what I was doing. The sizing, I didn't know because I didn't go to school for this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning off the fly because.
Full of hard knocks.
Right. You know, I'm learning off the fly because I only got $1,000 and I don't want to go work for nobody because that experience just, I couldn't do it. I did not want to work with nobody. And they telling me what to do. I did not like it. And it was just like tedious. Like, people be in positions just to be like, oh, you can do this, but it's regular. I had the most regular job ever, and they made it 10 times complicated for no reason. So, yeah.
And that you just knew at that point, you were like, look, this is not what I need to be doing.
No,
Like,
I couldn't.
so
and
at some way, you just going to figure out how to make Zella Fermani pop.
yeah, and I didn't have a lot of support either. So, yeah, that was definitely a challenge as well, too.
There's one of those things where your back is to the wall, and you got to be able to figure your way out because there's no safety net.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of business owners, we don't have that luxury, especially disproportionately women, Black women, you know, just people of color in general. It's harder for us, and we don't usually have that history of someone in our family who we could at least point to or ask for questions. So, you know, your story sounds like it's definitely one of many people's stories where you have to figure it out for yourself, and maybe there's a degree of luck in there, but you had to be able to learn on the fly. You mentioned getting a manufacturer. You don't know anything about that, but you know, your ingenuity of just like Googling, I'm assuming, just was like, where do I find a manufacturer?
Exactly.
Like, how did you even get to that?
Exactly. Oh, well, he reached out to me.
Oh, you say he reached out to you?
Yeah, he reached out to me on Instagram, and I was like, I don't trust this. I don't know who this is. Like, I just was like, okay, well, let's just try it out. And then the sample, I think he charged me a little bit of money, so I was like, okay, well, if he do run off with it, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. But he was really honest. He's still my manufacturer to this day. So we have a good relationship. And that's another thing about being a business owner, creating those connections and relationships with people that's long term, you know. Because I can reach out to him today and he'll say, oh, I got that in a week.
Right.
You know, so those longevity relationships are great.
So I know you mentioned the adversity that you were facing. Was there something you could pull to that gave you the wherewithal to push through? Was it faith? Was it motivation? Was it just the adversity itself? Kind of what do you think kind of got you through some of those ups and downs?
I think the adversity itself, I had my back against the wall, and I think that taught me a lot to continue to push through any adversity that comes to your life. Like I said, I didn't want to go back to work, so I had to figure it out. You know, I could have reached out because at that time I had a business partner. I could have reached out and said, hey, I need some more money, but I was like, I want to figure this out on my own. Yeah. And I figured it out. And so it was a lot of success with the pants. It was a lot of success.
Talk to us about those pants. Is it these pants right now?
The pants.
Oh my
Yes.
God. I don't know if y'all can see, but these pants right here.
Stand up and give them a look.
For y'all don't pay me for that. But Z, let me tell you about these pants, man. So what are these called?
To me, they're just the Zella Fermani pants.
They're
cargo
the pants. They're the cargo pants. Let me tell you about these cargo pants, man. The way we even got onto Zella Fermani, me at least, is through, again, my illustrious co-host Simone. Crushing in these pants one day. And I was like, yo, where the hell you get those pants? And like, you know, you ever see something where, you know, I like to think I'm somewhat fashionable. Right. Simone is definitely fashionable. And so I think as I walked in, I was just like, what's up, Simone? Wait, yo, where you get those pants from? So I had never seen those. And maybe I'm just not fly as I think I am. And people just was wearing this. But I was like, yo, I need to know about those pants. So I don't know if that's the effect that is happening. But Simone, how did you find out about it? Because you put me on, and these pants, I think, at least for me, I've been paying attention ever since.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So Zella Fermani, of course, is a local brand, and I'm DMV raised, and been here, saw it come out, and honestly, I want to say Trey put me on. He patronizes the heck out of Zella Fermani. He loves her brand.
I appreciate you, Trey.
Yeah, he loves her brand. So he has so many pieces, and you know, naturally, I'm like, oh, where you get that? Like, let me grab that. Right. So I started purchasing it on my own, and it was the pants. Like, I saw everybody was getting the pants. Yeah. Like, all my friends were getting the pants, and I'm like, oh. And they used to sell out. They used to sell out very quickly. So you had to be on it. You had to be on it. So I think she had a drop. The first ones I got, they were orange, and those are my favorite pair, the orange ones. And so they came out. I'm like, oh, getting it. And then slowly but surely, I got orange, green, tan, black.
Flavors. So talk to us about these pairs, Z, because clearly you got fans of the pairs. Trey ain't even here. He probably got 2 pairs of each of them. So talk to us about these pairs. How they come about?
So like I said, I'm a tomboy, so I like to be comfortable, and I feel like I needed something that a lot of people would feel comfortable in, right? So when I made them, I didn't have no plan. I didn't see the longevity of the pants. I only had one. I had 3 colors. And so, like I said, the sizing at the time were so bad that all of them were the same size. They just had different size tags in them. So it was so bad that I had to learn to size them.
Oh, wow.
So that it can fit you right, her right, him, me, because we're all different sizes. Right. So I had to learn that on my own. And then, like I said, I only had 3 colors. And I initially just wanted to do 3 colors until he showed me the colors, the different colors that he had. And I was like, dang, I could make a killing just doing these pants. And so I was like, hey, you know, I think at the time, Malik, all homage, he put on my pants. And it went crazy after that. Because I was done. I was like, okay, I'm moving on. But after he put them on and he tagged me, shout out to him.
Shout out to him.
His followers at the time came over and was like, we want the pink ones. We want this color. We want this. And I just kept dropping them until, like, I want to say I slowed down last year. Wow. I made a 0.2, which was the extra pocket, just because I love pockets. Yeah. So I made a 0.2. I made a 0.2, and those sold out fast, too. Like I said, it sold out so fast sometimes. I was just like, wow. This is crazy.
So this is your best seller. This is
definitely put my name on the map for sure. I definitely think that I did something that for my first year that a lot of people can't say that they did, and that's not to be
rookie
cocky.
Year went crazy.
Right, rookie year went crazy. I was definitely Derrick Rose.
Ooh, those basketball references.
Definitely Derrick Rose.
So you already know I got that. It's there.
Very dope. But so as this all is happening, what platforms are you using? Because I'm sure, you know, my mind's going to, as these sales are coming in, there's got to be something that's the engine behind it. And how are you looking at the sales? What are you using to get it out there?
Yeah.
How is it? Are you shipping it directly? How is all that kind of working?
Definitely at that time it was definitely challenging because I don't know nothing. I'm just going in this. So I looked up different websites at the time, and I think I was using, I'm not sure what I was using, but it wasn't a good website. Let's just say that because of fraud protection. Yeah. And I was getting a lot of fraudulent orders, but I didn't know nothing. Like I said, I didn't go into this with any type of research. But I did use Instagram. Instagram was a great source. At the time, I don't want to say Twitter was in the beginning stages of how to go viral on Twitter. But it was, like I said, in its beginning stages. So I was here and there go viral, and I'll tag the website. But more mouth to mouth, just going to like different events, having the pants on, marketing myself, or seeing somebody like, Zella Fermani, like, can I take a picture of you? I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like,
you're a celebrity.
You want a picture? So we both got the pants on taking pictures. So it was definitely a mouth to mouth type of thing more than and Instagram. I would say both helped me out. But yeah, my website at the time I was using, I created it. I did everything on my own. And then I found Shopify. Shout out to Shopify.
Shout out to
Shopify helped me with everything as far as fraudulent orders, And I like to build my own websites. I didn't never pay anyone to do my website. So anything that you see on my website, I did it myself.
Very dope. That's that creative. And that
content, everything that you pretty much see, I do it. And now that I have, a team or whatever, my team, they help me out. But everything I was doing in the beginning was by myself.
It's amazing. So you sound like you a modern Renaissance woman. You're doing so many things, many times for the first time. And how long was it that it was just you, solopreneur? You have your manufacturer, obviously, but then you got to a point where you're like, man, I need to actually get people behind me so that I'm not doing everything.
I'm an independent person, so I still like to do things by myself. I don't like to ask for help, which is a good and a bad thing, but I pretty much like to get it done. Like I'm a teacher as well, but if I could just knock it out by myself, I can knock it out. But my husband, he helps me. I have a creative director. That took probably, I want to say, to be honest, it's still in the process of me building a team. Yeah. Like I said, I like to do everything by myself. Yeah. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not tired. I'm not overwhelmed. It feels good to me, But I am building a team. Right. My little brother wants to have a clothing line, so I'm teaching him through the ropes of what I do every day so he can learn, and teaching him manufacturers and sizing and stuff like that. So, but he's on my team too. I have a small team, but I like to do everything by myself.
I mean, it's your baby, right?
Right,
so you've been doing it for so long.
Yeah, I love it. I'm sorry. If I can get it done, like last week, or 2 weeks ago, my wedding was on Saturday. I had a release on that past Saturday, so I had to get orders out. This is shoes. I released some shoes, and I had to box everything up. I had to ship it and print out labels. I did everything by myself. I want to say in like 2 hours. Wow. Knocked out maybe like 50 orders in 2 hours, and then after that, I was like, I want to have a sale because I'm getting ready to clear everything out for the fall. Right. Did all that. Next thing you know, I'm at my wedding.
Next thing I'm at my wedding.
The next thing you know, I'm at my wedding. The lady at the post office like, well, ain't you supposed to be getting ready for a wedding? I'm like, yeah, but I gotta get to the money. Right. This wedding,
right back on paper.
You know what I'm saying? This wedding expensive.
Oh my God.
Gotta make my money back.
I had to get to it. So I definitely like to get things
so
done.
No days off, clearly. Yeah. Not even wedding day.
Nah, not even a wedding day. I was doing work too. Yeah. But I like to do it. It's fun for me, to keep myself busy.
Yeah, and I could tell you love it, right? But kind of paralleling to your experience when you're working, now that you don't have any days off, do you like the balance and the autonomy that you have, or is there some sense of the routine that you still might miss from your old kind of job background?
No. Yeah. I like where I'm at. I like my balance. I like to do what I want to do. I like to work. I like the freedom of not being told what to do. I like to be my own boss. And I think a lot of this generation that's coming up like that too. Yeah. They see like, oh, okay, I don't have to nobody can tell me what to do. All right, bet I'm gonna do this. So I'm teaching my brother, like, I want you to go to school and I want you to learn those things, but I do want you to be your own boss. Right. So you don't have to. I just did not like when they was telling me what to do. I'm just like, because like I said, my job was so simple, but they made it so complicated and it irritated me. Yeah. And I hated going, but I did like to dress up every day. I would say that. I did like to dress up every day. I was
I'm just here for the looks.
I'm just here for the looks. But yeah.
But with your brother, I mean, I think that's even dope because, like you said, you've been doing this primarily by yourself, and not a lot of people succeed doing that. Yeah. You've been able to do it. You've made it through all of the odds, but now you're at a position where you have enough experience doing it. You have enough success doing it that your brother now, your younger brother, sees you and he's like, oh, there's a way. Yeah. Maybe he didn't see a way, or maybe he did before, but now he has someone that is essentially to the room next to him that he can ask because, sis, how did you do this? Or I saw you do it like this, so I want to do mine like this.
Yeah, and I also have a sister who's doing a clothing brand now as well too.
Oh, it's in the family.
All the influence.
Yeah, okay. So I definitely appreciate that they leaned on me as their source to do this, because that's a good feeling. I don't feel like I'm in a position where I want to be, because I feel like that's always going to be me. Like I always want to aim higher than where I am right now. So for them to see me and say, I want to be like my sister, that's an amazing feeling. Truly. So shout out to my brother and my sister.
Shout out to them. And they gonna have some fashions around the way.
Yeah, they are. They are. Yeah, they are. I can't wait for them to take off.
Nah, I love that. And then, so in terms of where you want to take Zella Fermani, like where do you see it going? What is for you of like that North Star?
I want to be a household name. I want everybody in the world to wear Zella Fermani. Like, and I also want to do photography again. Okay. So I also want to blend the two. I want to have my own studio. I want to direct. I want to be behind the scenes. I want to be a stylist. So I want Zella Fermani to be a household name. We're everywhere. Clothes, shoes, photography, even appliances.
So it's not just streetwear.
No,
you
it's
want
just
it to
not.
Be
No, not
a
just
brand.
streetwear. Yeah, I want it to be a brand. But I love streetwear and I love fashion, so it's not gonna be. It's gonna always be there. But yeah, I love to do everything. I want a part of everything. You know.
You want it all. She's coming for it all.
Yeah. Even your pots and pans. I want Zella Fermani.
I
want Zella Fermani pots and pans.
That's fire. But like, I think, you want to build an empire.
Yeah.
And you're clearly a big picture thinker. You're not thinking of now, you're thinking of later. How do you, as a business owner, doing a lot of it by yourself, how do you figure out your plan to get there? Like, what timeline do you give yourself that you're not so focused on the future, you missing now? Yeah. But balancing out is you by yourself primarily, you said. So like, how do you go about doing that?
That's a good question. That's a great question. Dang.
My bad. I need that to be there.
I know. You got already on the spotlight.
Yeah.
My bad.
Dang. Can we come back?
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
That was really good. Like,
we're going to come back to that.
Yeah. That was a good one.
But, so I'll ask you one. As you are launching new products, how are you deciding kind of what you go with, right? Because you saw how quickly the pants caught on, and then you had the foresight to create a new feature to it, that part too. Yeah. Right. How are you going about the decision process or the creative process and coming up with like what's next for you?
First sketching, and like I said, I have a creative director, so we pretty much foresee the fashion trends of the year, the colors of the year as well. So once we do that, then we figure out, okay, what are we more aiming to? And like I said, this is more of a unisex brand, so I'm trying to come out of that and do women, focus on women as well. So like I said, this year, I'll speak about this year. So we know the color of the year is going to be orange, right? So last year was Bottega green. So we try to hone into those type of things, little things like that will kind of separate us from everyone else. Like I said, we go to the sketch phase, we go through samples. I also sometimes take a picture of the sample or just like give people a little hint of what's to come, and then I can foresee it from there. Okay, cool. They're rocking with it, and then I'll go from there. And also, if it's something that I already made before and I'm adding an additional color to it, that sometimes too I can foresee, put it on the Instagram, Twitter, see what they're thinking, and I'll release it from there. So yeah, I definitely cater to my customers and see what they want, and also what I want too, but more so what I know y'all gonna buy. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put. I want to be
holding no product.
You know what I'm saying? And I want them to feel like I'm connecting with them too. You know, by making sure they're a part of the process. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's important to make sure your customers are a part of your process.
That's super.
And what they're wearing.
That's a gem. That's a gem right there.
Yeah.
I mean, streetwear is I would say the dominant fashion. Dare I say in the world right now? You got you got old white people wearing. You got Jerry Seinfeld wearing Kith and all that. Yeah. Shout out to Jerry Seinfeld, very funny man, by the way. That's not a shot, but I just say that to say the streetwear game is so crowded. There's so many brands out there. You clearly have your process, but how much are you paying attention to what is on trend and even looking ahead, knowing that everybody's going to be doing basically the same thing in streetwear? How do you differentiate yourself?
That's a good question. It's separation season. So I know that, while we're still foreseeing that the trends of what's happening, we're still trying to make sure that we do it differently, or we have our own version of it, or we just doing something totally different, but still catering to that trend. So like right now, it's a Y2K trend, right? And so it's cargo pants, it's big clothes, it's skinny clothes.
She put me on game. I didn't even know that.
It's small fitting clothes. It's 2010, right. and before we're going backwards. So it's like, how can we make a difference? Right. Make an impact, but still separating ourselves. So I think that's and the colors used and the fabrics used and all that can separate you from another brand. You may be using regular cotton. I might be using something totally different. So it's definitely separation season.
Yeah, I love that because you're basically keeping your finger on the pulse,
Yeah,
and then finding where you can create your own look to
for
it.
sure.
But doing all of that in-house is one thing, but then making sure that you get the word out, get the exposure. It sounds like you're fostering and building that community.
Yeah.
I think reaching out to them is good, but then how are you expanding that community so that you're getting your product in the front of more people?
Social media, really. Like I said, I make sure that my content is delivered to where, like, oh dang, she's showing me the content, she's giving me content, and she's showing me the product. I think my last shoot was, maybe it wasn't. Okay, the cardigan. I don't know if you guys seen that, but the cardigan was something that I've never done before that I wanted to expand and try something new. It was a mohair cardigan. Not a lot of people in this area are doing that. So once again, I'm separating myself. I did the photo shoot and I sold out. I think delivering content to your customers and showing them that you really care about your product is what gathers them to come, like, oh, okay, cool, she cares. She's not just giving us a hoodie over here or pants. She's actually giving us a story, or she's giving us something visually where we can see, like, oh, this product fits this person this way, and it looks good, so that's what I aim for. Looking for doing shoots and content, creating content where you feel like, oh, okay, I was a part of that shoot, or I want to be in that garment. So that's what I'm aiming for every time. If not every time, I'm trying to.
And not only is the content so good, because it goes beyond content, right? Especially on social. It's interacting with people, being social on social media. One thing that I love is no matter at whatever stage you were, if you're commenting Zella Fermani, if you're tagging her in things, if you're tagging the brand, she's going to repost. She's going to respond. She's going to have that conversation.
Super important.
That conversation with you. And that's something that's missing from a bunch of brands is that personable factor where you're really relating with your audience and connecting with your audience. And so giving you your flowers on that for sure, because you make a point to really connect with your audience in that way.
I think it's important. I mean, these bigger brands, they're not talking to you.
Right.
And I feel like creating that space where, you can tag me in a picture and I repost it and I make you feel like, we're cool. Like, I want to create that dynamic where my customers can come to me about anything or whatever, so that I can connect with them. I like the connection because you can't connect with Gucci. You're not going to talk to them. So to create that dynamic is great. I always wanted that.
You fostering a community.
Yeah.
You're creating a community as much as you can on digital platforms, but we're a community, and if I see somebody rocking the pants, I was like, yo, Z Fermani, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a whole different feeling where it takes it beyond just like a purchase of a pant.
Yeah.
And a lot of streetwear brands, there's some that are more successful, but for you, a big part of it is not only the customer service, but also the making people feel like they're a part of your process.
Yeah, for sure.
And from what we've gathered from you, you're a very private person. You try to do things your way, but letting your customer feel like they're a part of your process.
Yeah.
What does that process actually look like for you? Like, do you put on music? Do you how do you get into your zone so that you can create this?
Definitely music.
Yeah.
I definitely watch a lot of fashion shows too.
Okay.
Even even years back, just to gather some type of inspiration. I do watch a lot of Virgil Abloh.
R.I.P.
Yes, R.I.P. And then Jerry Lorenzo is probably one of my favorites because his simplicity and how he goes about approaching his brand. So I watch a lot of videos, interviews, music, and maybe even my past work and how I can improve, and even going to the fabric store and touching different fabrics and understanding how they operate and work. So it's definitely it's a cool process.
Yeah,
I would like to mention how no one knew that I was behind the brand the entire time.
Wow.
They thought it was a guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. I'm sorry. But I think it's important because, like I said, I don't put myself out there enough. I'm behind the scenes so much that I'm trying to show me and show that a Black woman can run a brand, a unisex brand at that.
And do it at a high level.
Right. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to put myself out there more. So yes, I am the owner and CEO of brand.
I don't know that
Zella
boss
Fermani.
stuff.
Okay.
I am the
Better
CEO.
plug
It's
yourself,
not a
girl.
guy. It's not a guy. And if you still think it's a guy, that's cool.
But you know what? Take that as respect too. That it's like, you know, you ain't think I could do this, but it's me doing all of
Right.
this.
It was a brand. I think it want to say Mason Margiela.
Okay.
He never showed his face. I want
Right.
to say, I don't remember. It was one of those brands, but he never showed his face. He just ran with the brand. And I thought I could do that, but people want to see you. And it's in a time where it's like, you can't do that.
It's a different generation.
Yeah, it's a different generation. And
Yeah.
back then he could do that, but I have to put myself out there more. So, you know, this podcast is the start of something new.
There you go.
So I appreciate you guys.
First stop on the road show.
Yeah.
For sure. I could always look back and say, this is where I started.
Nah, that's dope.
Yeah.
And we glad that we could help you with that.
For sure.
One other question, you mentioned music. Like, what's that boss up song for you? Like, who gets you in the mode where you like, man, I'm about to fuck this shit up today?
All right. So it's Future.
Mm-hmm.
Never Stop is my favorite song. But I want to say Free Gunna.
Freedom, man.
Free Gunna. Okay. I love Gunna. I love Don Toliver. I love Travis Scott. Those motivating songs. Let me not forget Little Baby.
Little baby.
I love Little Baby. I have to watch his podcast. I mean, his.
Did you watch the documentary?
No, I have to watch the documentary.
check that out.
It's good.
And I can't forget Kanye West. Crazy
Yes.
Kanye West.
Yes. Oh, Kanye.
Kanye.
Oh, Kanye.
Oh,
for
Kanye.
Sure. Graduation Kanye.
A lot of inspiration from
Yeah,
there.
no,
It's hard
for real.
not to be inspired by that joint
Listen,
back then.
listen, I could put that on right now and feel like I could do whatever I want to do.
Right. Right.
So yeah, shout out to Kanye. I love you, Kanye. You crazy though.
Right. Oh man. So you put on like a little playlist and you
Yeah,
just go.
I got a playlist. I
Okay.
definitely got a playlist.
Little baby at the top of the joint.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. And then Kanye.
And then Kanye.
Okay.
Lil Uzi too. Can't forget Lil Uzi. And I like a little R&B too. So, you know,
Okay.
Summer Walker.
Favorite R&B song? Go.
Ooh. Music Soul Child Love.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm an oldie. I
Old
love
soul.
Mint Condition.
Is that an
Yeah,
oldie?
okay, you
Are we
going.
old? Damn.
I was about to say because that was yeah.
Do I want to put myself out there like that?
Nah, we young.
Yeah,
We
but
young
Mint
and fresh.
Condition,
If
I
you don't
feel
know about that, you young.
I'm young. I am young. I'm 26.
Okay.
So
There you go.
But I
Killing
still
it.
love the old. I appreciate the old music. I'm actually going to go see Usher in October. So
Oh,
Damn,
that's gonna be
Usher's old
nice.
music too now.
yeah,
no.
he a little
Oh,
music.
Usher being old is crazy.
That's a
Usher
fact.
being old and still fine is crazy.
Oh man. That's-
Shout out to Usher.
Shout
Nah,
out to Usher.
still crushing it though. Let's not
Still,
forget.
listen,
Yeah.
how many shows? I don't even know how many shows he's done so far. He's
Oh my
killing
God.
it.
Oh, yeah.
This is
Oh my God.
I forgot what it's called.
That's one person you can go see and know that you're going to get a performance.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
I'm
Takes it
excited.
so serious.
Yeah.
I mean, we were
Yeah.
talking right before this about Diddy, Usher, that whole thing about Usher been doing. You want to talk about longevity?
Yeah.
That man to this day is doing what he was doing when he was like 13, 14.
And still
I might be the
sound
only one
good.
that rocks that album before My Way.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What's
but
that,
yeah, he-
8701?
Nah, that's
No,
after.
no, that's
Oh,
after.
oh, that's
yeah,
after.
Yeah.
If you're talking before My Way, man,
Yeah. So he's
it
been
might
in
be
the
called
game.
Usher.
No, I think it is.
Literally Usher. Back when they was just naming the joint.
Right, you know, you just name it after yourself.
Right. Oh my God. But yeah, so that music puts you into that mode where like you feel like, you know, for the type of creativity that you do, where obviously you're doing something right. Your
Yeah.
process, you know, we all have our different processes. We were talking about that as well. You know, for me, in order for me to get right, I need to be in a certain mind frame to be creative.
Yeah, me too.
But for you to be able to do something that obviously is resonating with a lot of people, you're doing something that's right for you, and everyone else gets to reap those benefits.
Yeah.
So that's dope. That's dope because I think even sharing where you want to go with it, what are some of those things that you think you need to, I don't want to say change, but like getting to that next level for you? What are things that, for example, you said you're now trying to be more in front of the camera. What are things that you think are going to help you get to that next level where people are hearing ZF in so many different circles that it doesn't exist?
I think also, number one, stop being stubborn and get a team, and widen out and get more people to help me. I think that's the thing too, and not be afraid to take chances and risks. Even though you have a brand, maybe 5 years like myself, I still am a little skeptical of doing things. Like I have my fears. Like this.
Yeah.
Like you call it like imposter syndrome. Are you familiar with that? Have you ever? what that
I've
mean?
heard of it.
So elaborate a little bit more on what you're saying. I think that might be what you're talking about, because a lot of business owners, especially entrepreneurs, we feel sometimes like the success that we're having, we're not supposed to have it, and we doubt ourselves and our abilities. We're like, you're her, I'm him. Like everybody else sees it. I need to remember that.
Yeah, that's
exactly it.
That's exactly me. I have my fears. I still feel like I can't do this sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And I've had moments where I'm that, but sometimes I'll lose it because it's not. I want it to be consistent where I feel as though, this is me, because I have so many fears and doubts, and just I scare myself sometimes from success. And that's why I said today I have to put those fears behind me and take a chance. You know, what are you scared for? That's how I feel. Like I can't be scared anymore. I don't even know why I'm scared.
Right.
I think I'm scared of failure because I want to succeed so much. You know, so I'm really hard on myself. I will say that. This year was definitely an example of how hard I am on myself. So yeah.
Yes, but you know what? You're not alone in that.
Yeah,
it's something that us as business owners, everyone goes through stuff, and there's so many external factors that go into that.
For sure.
Life literally happens, but you got to push through, and being able to remind yourself, you know what? The success that I've had to date is not luck.
Yeah.
It's me who helped me get here.
Yeah.
There's a reason I'm here. And, you know, just like the 11/11, like we were talking about, the whole essence of the podcast, being able to realize that, like, the universe wants me to succeed.
Yeah.
I just have to remind myself, you are meant for this.
Right.
And don't let whatever negative moment is happening get in the way of the bigger picture.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's all normal.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is you're in uncharted territory, and it's very difficult to do by yourself.
Yeah.
That's why so many people have co-founders, have business partners. So I think as you scale that team, it's gonna come in tenfold for you,
sure.
especially. But tell us how because I know you mentioned that you have that creative director now, and then you're even working with your husband. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
How is it to balance that dynamic? Because I understand too that there's your work life and your business life, and there's your personal life. How are you handling that? And because oftentimes they could be used as a way to express what you're going through.
Right.
But then how do you flip that switch?
That's a great question. Well, my husband goes to work.
Okay.
Right. So I'm pretty much alone to do my thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's a great balance where he's at work, I'm at home doing what I need to do, or I'm at the office doing what I need to do, and he's not bothering me. He's encouraging me to do whatever I need to do. So to me, I feel like I have the perfect balance of just creating and being in my office, doing work, expanding Zella while he's at work, doing him and doing what he needs to do. And you know, this is the perfect personal life and business life balance for me. I like it. I have no problem with it. Okay. He's not in my business.
So that time apart is critical.
Yeah, that time apart is critical. But right now we're in like we've been together for 2 years, but we're still in the honeymoon stage where we like to be up under each other. And I have no problem being up under him, and he has no problem. So it's like we're still in the clingy phase. So yeah. But when he goes to work, it's time for him to go to work. Yeah, and it's time for me to do what I need to do. And he gives me that space. So yeah.
And you need that. You know, whatever you need to be able to be your best self, your most productive. Clearly you guys have a system that works.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there's a lot of newness. I think as entrepreneurs, sometimes once we get into a routine, it's easier to just go because it's like, all right, I just got to repeat what I've been doing. But once we know that the world doesn't work like that.
Exactly.
There's going to be all these things that get thrown at us.
Exactly.
But there's a lot of newness as well. You know, you mentioned you just got married.
Yeah.
So whatever the process was before, it's different.
Yeah.
You know, every day there's going to be a different thing because now you're on a different level in your relationship, and that impacts even how you move as a business owner.
Exactly.
You know, as you expand your team and as you grow the brand, you know, what are the things of, you know, in terms of where you want to take it? How is it that when you get hit with those types of things, how do you lean on your network to be able to help you to do that? Or your community, rather.
What do you mean by that? Like,
so in the sense of, all right, you have your husband, you know, you have your creative director, but you have your process. So how do you, knowing that you have to still continue to adapt to a lot of new things, but now you have a different kind of dynamic where it isn't just you. And, you know, you have to be able to realize that, like, okay, like I need to be able to lean on someone to be able to help me get here.
I definitely think my creative director, because I haven't really dove deep into this year, but this year has been the hardest year of my life that I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
So I was trying not to cry.
No. We here for you. We here for you. Take
Thank
your
you.
time.
Lean on them.
Yes.
To help me creatively, because I was really uninspired this year. I've never been so uninspired in my life. So it was really hard. I needed to lean on my husband for encouragement. I needed my creative director to continue to work and foresee things that I couldn't. But yeah, it was. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm really crying right now.
No. It's okay.
I thought I could do it. I was in the car practicing, like, yeah, you could do this. You could talk about it.
We're gonna get you a tissue.
You can talk about it.
You good.
So,
But you know, this is real and this is vulnerable, and you know, whatever you're going through, again, don't feel like you have to delve in more than you need to. But whatever it is, it's clearly something that it's impacting you, which is going to impact your business. Yeah, and the success that you've had to date, knowing that you want to take it to the next level, you know, clearly being able to, as a business owner, know that you have to sometimes dig deeper than you had to over the last 5 years.
Yeah, for sure.
And then when you are able to come out on the other side of it, it's like, man, even this tried to knock me out.
Yeah.
And I didn't even let it stop me.
Yeah, for sure. I will say that God puts us through trials to expose our weaknesses. And I think each year we learn something more about ourselves that we didn't know. Yeah. And I think this year for me it was faith. It's not something that you really hone on to, like, dang, I don't have a lot of faith, or I need faith. Like, for me, life is just so fast, you know, you just keep moving, but we need faith.
100%.
100%. And so I definitely feel like God exposed that for me this year.
No, I love that. I love to hear that. And again, I'm sorry for whatever it was, but I have confidence in the fact that even you just articulated the way that you did now, you know, you've clearly been over some kind of a hump where you're getting there. And so the fact that you're not letting whatever it is beat you, you're keeping going. That's a lesson to anyone out there who, you know, is facing anything, whether you're thinking about starting a business, whether you are having a business that is trying to go to the next level. Life is going to hit you, but don't let it get you down.
No, for sure. I mean, I'll be honest, like it was my mom. She had cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that.
She's still here. When I talk about it, I keep saying like, people like, she's
either way, fuck cancer. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes. And so it definitely, I never expected something like that to happen. I don't think we don't expect nothing like that to happen. So close. You know, close at that. And so I've never had anyone close to me experience anything like trivial like that. So to watch her through that process, it was hard as hell.
Right. It's a different type of strength.
On top of that, coming out of a pandemic that we're still in, right?
Right. And also planning a wedding, still being a fiance, still being a big sister, being a daughter. And those moments were hard.
Showing up. Because people need you to show up for them, but you also need
let's not forget running a business.
Oh, yeah.
And having no creativity whatsoever because you're so distracted by your mother. So I wanted to talk about it because a lot of people don't know, like, that's what I've been going through this year. Yeah. I really haven't talked about it. But yeah, it was probably the most challenging thing I've ever experienced in life.
Yes.
So. And when your creativity is gone, it's literally gone. It's like you have to pull.
It's gone
from under to bring that back.
My unfamiliar place.
Listen, it's so hard, and I thought I could just bounce back. Even when she was doing better, I thought I could just bounce back, but I couldn't. I could not find it, and I'm getting back there, but it really was like the hardest thing ever. Like, because I thought I was going to lose Zella, because I was like, I can't do all of this. How do you do all of this? And that's why I said God put you through trials to expose your weaknesses, and that's why I needed faith to get through this year and in life.
That's a testimony right there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So yeah, keep pushing. Zella ain't going nowhere. So
yes, Zella ain't going nowhere.
That's what
your mom ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, mommy ain't going nowhere.
Mama
she
good.
crazy, but shout out to my girl.
Yeah, shout out to mom.
Shout out to my mom. I love her to death.
That's dope. But you know what? I'm sure she's as proud of you
Yeah.
If she was here right now, she would probably say it, because that's the way you're honoring her. So I know she wouldn't want whatever's going on with her health-wise to affect what she's seen you build.
For sure.
So that's a way to be able to continue to honor her by not letting it get in the way.
I'm sorry for crying, y'all.
Nah, do not apologize.
I thought I could do it. I was really in the car.
I don't know what camera I got to look at. This is real. Okay?
I was really in the car like, you could do this. Like, you could talk about this. Like, this is something that people need to hear. Like,
they do.
We go through stuff. Like, it's motivation at the end of the day to continue to go and get your money, like get your bag, like and complete those goals. So yeah, this year definitely taught me that, you know, I can do whatever I want to do. I just gotta have faith.
Yes.
Gotta have faith.
Gotta have faith.
I love that. My bad. Were you about to say something?
Nope.
Oh, my bad. I was just gonna say, you know, I think also for you, it's so dope to know that you've had this 5 years of success, and this is a major hiccup for you in terms of being able to figure out what the next 5 years look like. I think at least what we've been able to get from you, even in this last half an hour of conversation, you pull your inspiration from your own source. So this is just something else that whatever, when you get to those pots and pans, you're going to look at it and be like, yo, you know where that came from? You know where that strength came from?
Exactly.
Yo, that just gave her a whole different level of inspiration that Zella Fermani couldn't have had before because you didn't go through that.
I definitely agree with that. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a gem.
Yeah, this is a gem.
Yeah.
Speaking of gems, what other things, you know, as we kind of start wrapping up, just realize at the time, what are some other gems that you just have learned over the last 5 years that have gotten you to this point? That someone who's starting a business, another young lady starting a business, even a fashion business, what are the things that you now know definitively from your experience that you like, if you getting started, this is what you got to know?
I definitely think it's important to not look too much for support in the beginning. I definitely think if you love your craft as much as you say you do, support yourself. Be your biggest fan. Prove to them people why they should be supporting you. I think that's something that I lacked in the beginning. And I watched people that I thought was supposed to support me. They didn't support me. And I didn't understand, but they didn't believe in me, and I had to believe in myself. So I think it's important that people believe in themselves on a course of starting their journey. You know, it's important, because I had a conversation the other day, and they was like, "Oh, what's your advice?" And I'm like, "Support yourself." Like, but I don't understand why my friend isn't. They don't believe in you. You have to prove to them that this is meant to be.
Right.
I think it's important to believe in yourself. I definitely think that's important. You know, I still struggle with it, but I think it's important through this journey, because I wouldn't have got this far if I didn't, you know, believe in myself. But you know, so it's a work in progress.
Sure, that's one. And to be honest, it's not something that you're probably ever going to not struggle with. I think it's the fact that it's something that you're not letting get you down. It's something you like. Even when I have this moment, I know it's just a moment because I've had this moment before, and I'm gonna keep going. That's dope. Anything else that you want to say in terms of, you know, what to expect along the way?
Just keep expecting.
Just keep expecting.
Like I said, as I get back to being 100% Team Zella, and just making sure I develop my craft and get back into that inspiration, just continue to support me through my journey. And like I said, I want to tell this story so that people can understand, like, hey, like, you can go through things as a business owner and it can literally knock you down and you got to get right back up. Right. And that's anything in life. It's just not even just being a business owner. We are human beings that go through stuff. So it's just like, gotta keep going.
We're going to name this episode that human beings that go through stuff, but we business owners.
Yeah, we are humans. And I think people sometimes got to differentiate the two.
Right.
Because they feel like, oh, you're 100% business. But no, I'm a human.
Right.
And we have to give ourselves that grace too.
Yeah, I do.
Because we carry so much on our shoulders.
100%.
And it's like you said, I had that mindset too. I can do it myself. If I can do it quicker, if I can do it better, I'm just do it myself.
Right.
But that's important.
Yeah, I definitely. And shout out to my husband, because he definitely pushed me to continue to go through all the things that I needed to do, and just like he supported me so much and uplifted me, because this was a hard journey, like I said. Yeah. So shout out to my baby. Yeah,
shout out to him. You hubby.
And God. Most important.
Yes, first and foremost.
First and foremost.
All right. So to wrap us up, we have a little game. So this is called the culture questions.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you'll do is you'll pick one of these out of here, and we have a fun question for you
Okay.
to answer. So here, let's pass it over.
So,
Sorry. Here we go.
This is a funny question. When you go to the corner store / bodega, what are you getting?
What's your go-to snack?
yep.
Snack time.
I love trolley gummy worms.
Oh,
And I love a good Arizona.
Okay.
Just the
What
regular iced
flavor?
tea.
What flavor? Green tea.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And I'm not really a chip girl, but if I had to get chips, it would be Ruffles sour cream and onion.
Okay.
Very specific,
Cheddar,
but that's a
cheddar
good one.
sour cream and onion.
Underrated. I know that one.
Yeah, let me tell y'all something.
Go ahead.
I'm not pregnant, but it's this thing that I do now where I get the cheddar sour cream onion Ruffles. It was like a cream and onion dip, and then jalapenos. Oh my god.
Oh,
Mix it all together.
okay.
Oh my god.
Sounds like a concoction.
It's a concoction. It's on TikTok. Listen, TikTok will definitely have you doing
You
things.
can go down the rabbit
Oh
hole.
my God.
You can go broke with TikTok.
Man.
Oh my
All types
God.
of face
You saw it on
washes.
TikTok and you tried it out?
Huh?
Or you?
I saw it on TikTok.
Oh,
I
man.
saw face washes on
And now that's your
TikTok.
shit.
I see all types of stuff on TikTok. But it's really
Oh
good.
my
It was really
God.
good.
Dope.
I gotta try it.
That's super dope. Well, Z, so I just want to say thank you again. Super, super, super enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you,
This
guys.
was again the first episode. You set the standard.
I appreciate
Move
that.
forward.
You
Wow.
said it, high sis.
Thank
Oh
you.
my God.
This
Oh
was
wow.
great.
Thank you
Like,
guys.
you came here, you did your thing. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And really appreciate you being a part of our journey.
Thank you.
Obviously, we're gonna be following your journey. If nobody else, Trey gonna be following your journey.
Right.
But
Shout out to Trey.
Shout out to Trey. But we really excited to see where you take it because we know this is just level one, really, of a long journey
For
where
sure.
I can't wait to one day have some pots and pans that say Zella Fermani.
Yeah.
Remember this.
I wish you guys the best as well.
Really appreciate
I
it.
support
that.
black businesses and then a black podcast at that. So I
Yes.
wish you guys the best.
Thank you
really,
so much.
truly.
Thank you.
Is there any last words you want to look into the camera and tell them?
Support Zella Fermani. That's
Zella
all I
Fermani.
got. Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Take care.
That's a wrap, y'all.
Thank you.